for stopping by yet again. Basically, I just want to get up and personal and share my favorite brushes, the brushes that I believe work better for getting the flawless eyes. And I'm not saying that these are the only brushes that you should use. I'm not saying that my way is the best way. I'm just sharing what I use to create my eye looks and, you know, to complete my foundation. And so if you guys want to grab a coffee, a cup of tea, get comfy, and we're gonna get right into the video. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so starting with the face, for foundation, the brushes that I would say or recommend for a flawless finish, first one is a beauty blender. Okay, you guys know what a beauty blender is, so I don't have to get that out and show you, but a beauty blender can be used to apply foundation, blending it in. The thing with beauty blender is that it does, I feel like it doesn't really pack on enough product when you actually, you know, use that to apply foundation. It makes it look like you don't really have anything on, which is good. If you want to go for a more full-on glam, high definition, full coverage look, I would recommend you use a, let me get the brush out. The first brush for foundation that I recommend is the stippling brush. So it's sort of like flat, it spreads out, but it's flat at the top. This gives a perfect finish, a perfect look when you're applying your foundation. So you could apply the stippling brush for your foundation. You could, here's another example of a stippling brush. Okay, so it's flat at the top, but it sort of like spreads out. Okay, these are really good for applying foundation. Is when I do finish applying my foundation with my stippling brush, I then use my beauty blender to sort of blend the foundation in. That way you still get your full coverage, but it's blended seamlessly, so there's no streaks or any harsh lines or anything like that. So it's good to start with a brush to apply a foundation, and then you could go in with your beauty blender just to blend everything out. Okay, so moving on for the face brushes. When I'm setting my face, which is very important to set your face with a powder after you've applied a liquid foundation, sort of like a big fluffy powder brush is perfect for applying the powder onto your foundation to set it so that, you know, it doesn't move or doesn't get greasy during the day. Obviously you have to also use a setting spray at the end, but always it's imperative that you must set your foundation, guys, all the time. A loose powder, a translucent powder, just make sure that you put a sort of powder on your face to set the liquid foundation, unless of course you're using a powdered foundation, then that's okay. But whenever you're using a liquid foundation, remember to always set it. So this big fluffy, this is from Real Techniques, it's a big fluffy powder brush, so soft, and it gets into every area of your face. Apply the powder on your face like so, and yeah, you have the perfect finish. I can't stress anymore, it's just really important to set your liquid foundations. Okay, another one of my favorite powder brushes is this Morphe E1. This is the Elite collection from Morphe. This is a more denser, shorter, thicker powder brush. So soft, so soft, feels like velvet. This is just a quality powder brush. I love this brush. This is another brush as well that you could use to set your foundation, to apply your powder foundation with. So yeah, any sort of fluffy, soft brushes will do, okay, for the powder. Okay, so a brush that I use for bronzing my face, so after I have done my foundation, I've done my highlight and my contour, just to bring back a bit of warmth onto my face, I do go in with a bronzer. And to bronze my face, I use the Morphe E3 brush. It looks like this. It's more tapered, as you can see, but it's so fluffy and just so gorgeous. It's so soft. These Morphe Elite brushes are just, like, I highly recommend. So I use this brush to set my contours by applying my bronzer over it on my cheeks like so, and then on my forehead, and then under my chin. So yeah, this is a tapered powder brush. Okay, so any tapered powder brush will do to bronze your face. So the brush that I use after I have sort of highlighted and contoured, after I've highlighted my face with my liquid concealer, I then set it. So every liquid you use on your face, make sure you set it with a powder after. So for your contour, if you're using a liquid sort of form of makeup for your contour, make sure you then set it with a powdered contour after. Do you get my drift? Okay. So with concealer, after I've applied the liquid concealer, I then set it with a powder, which is a loose, translucent powder. Okay, so Ben Nye, Sacha, W7. There's a lot of different, setting powders, Laura Mercier, different sort of powder brushes that you can use. So once I have applied my concealer, and then when I want to dust off the excess powder of my face from the powder that I've put under my eyes, I use this smaller tapered brush just to dust off the excess powder from where I've put the highlights. This is very, very crucial. You need to make sure that you're actually blending in and swiping off the excess powder on your face. Otherwise, it will leave your face looking really cakey, chalky, and like a ghost. And no girl wants to be going out looking like a ghost, honey. I mean, come on, girls, get this right. Please make sure you are blended in your face properly. Yeah, it's not about that ghost look. We're not trying to do that out here. Okay, so yeah, oh God, my back hurts. Yeah, so I use this small tapered brush to dust off the excess. For contouring, I use a few different brushes. When I'm applying I don't use liquid, I use cream for my cheeks. And so what I normally do use is another small tapered brush. Again, this is by Real Techniques. It's like this. So I use this to apply my cream contour in circular motions, okay, and then to set it with my sleek, I use sleek contour powder. I use an angled brush. I think, guys, angled brushes are really, really, really good for contouring your cheeks because it's the perfect shape. It just fits right in your cheek, and it gives you that chisel that you need. So an angled brush is highly, highly recommended for contouring your cheek. And then sort of to carve out after I've contoured my cheeks, to get that sharp, that defined contoured look, I use a flat, sort of like a paintbrush. It's like that. Don't know if you guys can see. It's flat. And I just dab that along my cheeks just to, sort of define the contour. So a flat paint sort of looking brush is perfect for that. Again, for my blush, I also use an angled brush. So any angled brush, a bit bigger than obviously the contoured one, it fits in perfectly. Again, it just sort of finishes off the contoured look. For highlighting, I know a lot of people do use fan brushes to highlight, but it's not really for me. Everyone has, like I said, everyone has their preference. For me, I like to use this brush for highlighting. It's just a bigger sort of form of a blending brush, really. It's like that. I've just used it, guys, so it's gonna be, it looks a bit dirty, but yeah, this is what I use to highlight. Another one that I do recommend, and I'm gonna get myself, is the Anastasia, I think it's the A23 highlighting brush. it works like a dream. I've seen it and I'm like, oh my god, this is what everyone's jumping on, and it actually does work. So I don't just follow, I see, you know, I look around and see how it works for different people, and if I see that it's doing the same thing for somebody else, I'm like, yeah, why not? So that's the next brush I'm going to invest in for my highlight. And let's get to the eyes. Lastly, the eyes. Okay, so my favorite part of makeup is eyes. Eye makeup is my favorite part of makeup. Okay, so first and foremost, for the transition color, the color that you want to place down is similar color to your actual skin tone. It's called transition color. This is going to help to blend in other colors to that color, so it's always good to put down a transition color first. So for my transition color, I love to use my Zoeva 228 Luxe crease brush. This is sort of like a dense, quite spread, fluffy brush, like so. I don't know if you can see, but that's how it looks. Quite spread, long bristles, fluffy. Any big fluffy brush is perfect for creating the transition color. The transition color is gonna go all windscreen motion into your crease and blending upwards towards the eyebrow. Like, so once you've done your transition color, another brush that I love for intensifying the crease, you know, I know a lot of people complain that the eyeshadows don't really show up on their eyes properly. It depends on what brush you use and how you actually apply the product onto the brush. So you would need a, where's my 443? You would need a more denser brush, you know, a more shorter haired, not so fluffy brush. Okay, like something like this. So you see, the wider and more spread brush is for the transition, and then you see the difference. A more dense brush and not so, you know, so spread is perfect for actually picking up more color, because the denser it is, the easier it is to pack on color from the eyeshadow, if you get my gist. And also, if the eyeshadow is like, say here, flat on my finger, my hand, you'd want to place the brush down, just like on the tip of the brush, place it right into the eyeshadow, and then dab it onto your eyes, and then you'll see that you actually pick up more color than actually sort of like patting it on the side, picking it from the side of the brush and then putting it on. You won't pack up much color. You see I've done light purple and then going into the dark purple with a more dense brush. Okay, so a denser brush, not so fluffy. So from the fluffy transition color to the dense brush to add more definition to the crease. The next one comes the shader brush. Okay, this is the shader brush. So a shader brush is just a flatter, dense brush which goes in the center of your eyes. Okay, and then if you want to just intensify the crease a little bit, you then need a small brush. Where's my, yes. So a small crease brush which looks like this. It's tapered and pointy. This is perfect for, you know, creating cut creases. Just to deepen the crease a bit more, it's good to go in with a small crease brush like this. Okay guys, so that brings us to the end of this long-winded video. I really hope that everything I've said and shared with you today has helped you, and you know, for the beginners, I really hope it's helped you to, you know, to shop around for the right brushes. I do hope that this video has helped you, because it was highly requested. A lot of people did ask me to do a video on what sort of makeup brushes we should use. If you do like this video, please give it a like, comment and subscribe, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.